Like 5,000 likes to this video, we will upload more patriotic news. Thank you. Right after suing Trump, Rahm's busted siphoning off $55 million in massive scandal. President Trump knows that Rahm Emanuel is a liar. He is the mayor of Chicago and is one of the most corrupt individuals in politics. He is one in a long line of corrupt Chicago mayors. The lawsuit that Rahm Emanuel brought against the Dodge is clearly a fake. His fake lawsuit against the Dodge's promise to pull funding from sanctuary cities is a distraction from the $55 million scandal in Chicago that hit airwaves last week. Advertisement: the aldermen of Chicago and city officials have called out Emanuel of redirecting $55 million into funds that were designated to aid the poor, and mostly black portion of Chicago's South Side. He instead rerouted the tax funds and no one noticed because it wasn't disclosed on the tax bills. What happens in Chicago, stays in Chicago. You can understand why Emanuel would be so desperate to divert attention from this scandal and, so far, it's worked. By Sunday, Emanuel had announced his $3 million federal lawsuit, claiming the Trump administration was blackmailing the city of Chicago, and the national news outlets ate it up, Rahm versus Trump. Unsurprisingly, that the mainstream media is refusing to cover the debacle in Chicago. He claims he is worried about the $3 million that Chicago will lose if they refuse to cooperate with immigration laws. He said he wanted the money to purchase some cop cars. What is he doing with that $55 million he redirected? It's been dubbed a slush fund scheme for money laundering. That $55 million could have helped Chicago's struggling public schools. It could have purchased those police vehicles Rahm says he's so concerned about, or put more cops on the street. Chicago ended July with more than 400 murders, putting the city on pace to exceed the number of killings in 2016 with 781 homicides. Lord knows Chicago could use more cops. Yes, the poor of Chicago are suffering because Emanuel embezzled $55 million that was designated to assist them. Advertisement: should Trump sue him? Scott Baio went on an epic rant against John McCain. The internet is blowing up. There are still few words that people have to say when it comes to John McCain. Basically, he is one disgrace for the Republican Party after he refused to repeal the Obamacare and ignored the people's call for help. After this fiasco, many people want him out of politics for good because he indeed cares only for himself and ignores the American citizens. Arizona, the country he represents, deserves something way better, and indeed a smarter choice is going to happen very soon. Wonder why? Well, Trump is not like the other previous presidents, and he for sure hates liars and tolerates zero of them. John McCain is a liar and will be remembered as a liar. Trump is supported by many people and people actually listen and trust him, unlike McCain, so basically, McCain will be soon out of the picture. For example, TruthFeed enlightened us with this big Trump supporter and his message towards McCain. Actor Scott Baio is not here for McCain, and he called this man a liberal hack and not a hero, which is correct. We all agree with Scott and we all think that McCain is not a hero at all. I mean, he basically put a knife in Trump's back. A knife in the back of the only person who actually cares about this nation and its people. Repeal Obamacare and then few seconds after, please repeal and replace McCain. Eric Bolling breaks silence with heartbreaking statement on sexual harassment allegations. Fox News and Bolling are in deep water right now. Another sexual allegation is on their shoulders, and once again the nation is confused because nothing is proven and we do not know the truth. Bolling is a former commodities trader and best-selling author, had been a longtime co-host of The Five, and more recently he was involved in the launch of a new late-afternoon show, The Fox News Specialists. But, sadly, he was accused of sexual harassment by Carolyn Heldman. Now, even two employees accused him of sending a lewd picture to them, reports Sidger. No one should be claiming this sort of thing without presenting solid proof. That is why this case is weird and there is a possibility of a conspiracy. He was quiet for a while, but after this allegation that he sent pictures of his genitals, he decided to clear his name and choose Twitter for it. Fox also released a statement regarding this issue with Bolling. Eric Bolling has been suspended pending the results of an investigation, which is currently underway. Many people do not know what to believe when it comes to this case. So many of them think that Carolyn is a Democrat and purposely is doing this and targets the Republican host. There is no evidence present at the moment, so anything is possible. Some even say that this is revenge towards Fox because allegedly they ignored her and refused to give her the position she wanted at the network. Pelosi's head explodes when she sees how many federal jobs Trump's cut in 200 days. Nancy Pelosi's head exploded when she saw how many federal jobs President Trump has already cut in his first 200 days in office. The amount of jobs shed is shockingly large and good news for most Americans. Advertisement. Not for the Democrats like Pelosi who depend on patronage jobs and the absolute loyalty they bring to support the Democrats and their various initiatives. This was no easy feat either. What with the enormous power the federal employee union wields in Washington. It is still a very powerful union, which is one reason it has been so hard to cut back on the bloated workforce. A new July jobs report tells the epic tale of success and follow-through for Trump and his administration, who have made it a cornerstone of their agenda to cut government waste and save the taxpayer from the federal bureaucracy swallowing any more of their paycheck. It is a voracious beast, is it not? According to the report, the Trump administration has shed nearly 11,000 federal employees during its first 6 months. Which is a breath of sanity after nearly 2-year trend of explosive hiring by the executive branch. The Bureau of Labor Statistics report shows non-postal federal agencies employ 2,188,900 workers at the end of the month, down 2,200 from June and 10,700 from January. Keep it up, President Trump. There is so much wasteful spending in the bloated workforce, you might be able to balance the damn budget just by cutting all the useless positions. This is a massive win for President Trump and one the media sadly will not give him credit for. We all remember during the campaign where Trump said he would sort out our bloated budget and workforce. And he is delivering. Advertisement, in a big breaking, Rex Tillerson makes historic deal with Philippines that has terrified. The Pentagon is planning to allow the United States military to conduct airstrikes against ISIS in the Philippines, according to 2 defense officials. NBC News reports, the authority to strike ISIS targets as part of collective self-defense could be granted as part of an official military operation that may be named as early as Tuesday, said the officials. The strikes would likely be conducted by armed drones. If this is approved, then the military will fight against ISIS in the Philippines, which can be a treat to the region. The Philippine forces will join in the fight against the Islamic State. NBC News reports, the U.S. military has been sharing intelligence with the Philippines for years, according to Pentagon spokesperson Captain Jeff Davis, who called it a steady state. We have had a consistent counter-terror presence in the Philippines for 15 years now, he said. Image, Duterte shakes hands with Tillerson during a meeting at the presidential palace in Manila. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson visited Manila on Monday and said that the United States will help the Philippines in the fight against ISIS. The U.S. team of Special Operations Forces, based in Zamboanga, will continue to provide intelligence and logistical support to the Philippine government in the fight against the radical militant group called the MOD Group, which is connected with the Abu Sayyaf terrorist organization and the group known as IS in the country's southern part of the country. NBC News cites Tillerson, "We're providing them some training and some guidance in terms of how to deal with an enemy that fights in ways that are not like most people have ever had to deal with. I see no conflict at all in our helping them with that situation and our views of other human rights concerns we have with respect to how they carry out their counter-narcotics activities. More troops will be needed in order to retake Milwari from Islamic control. ISIS must be defeated." What Trump just said guarantees he will go down as the one of best presidents in history. President Donald Trump never stops working for the American public. He is supposed to be on vacation right now, during renovations at the White House, but he is working, even on a Sunday evening. Sunday was a big day when it comes to foreign relations because the UN reached a verdict on whether or not to impose more sanctions on the belligerent North Korean regime. Advertisement: President Donald Trump tweeted about it, mentioning the unanimous decision by the UN to increase sanctions against North Korea. This is all because North Korea continues to launch missiles. This doesn't just affect the US, it affects the Asian neighbors of North Korea, most notably, South Korea. During his vacation he was on the phone with the president of South Korea, to discuss that reality. Trump also took some time to get the word out about all he has accomplished in his first 6 months as POTUS, since the media certainly won't do it. Yes, President Trump has a conservative Supreme Court justice in place, unemployment is falling by the month, the borders are being shored up, and terrorism and gang threats in the US are falling. So why is the fake news media focusing so much on Russia? Oh yeah, because it's all part of the 2020 campaign against Trump. They're going to try and stop him from doing his job. If he does his job, they're going to make it look like he's doing badly for the next 4 years. They forgot that the Russia story was completely debunked today, and now they have no chance at getting an impeachment because of collusion. Now it's time for Congress to be productive and not obstructive. Get to work for the American people and you'll be re-elected. If not, you'll be replaced during your next race. Advertisement: What do you think of all that Trump has done?